Hey friends, I am so excited to be back with all of you. It is going to be a great time today, and I have missed you, but I want to jump in because I know that I hope you still have some new year energy. I know that it has already been a few weeks since the turn of the year, and a lot of life can happen in those few weeks. But I'm believing that you set out this year in pursuit of becoming a better version of you, right? Of not settling and not holding back because you know that you are made for more. And I'm here to help you build your brave, that no matter what setbacks come your way, no matter what things are happening internally or externally, or the resistance that you're facing, that I know it's not easy, but it is worth it. Maybe say that out loud right now with me. It's not easy, but it's worth it. I have said that for decades, reminding myself that the best things in life are worth fighting for. They do not come easy, but on the other side, it's totally worth it. So we're going to jump in today as I share my heart with you and begin to talk about some of the mindset hacks and the skill sets that I've needed to acquire or I'm still working on, okay, in my pursuit of becoming who God has created me to be. And I believe this is going to be encouraging and helpful. So stick with me, okay? I want to talk about being in it for the long game. All right. This is something we say a lot in our business, but consistency beats intensity every time. Every time. Okay. We can set out like we're on a sprint and try to run fast and run hard and run long. But here's the deal. If we do that, often we burn out. A lot of us at the turn of the year, maybe you're a ambitious, driven achiever like me, which means you could have 52 goals for what you want to accomplish this year. And it might be a bit unrealistic. And as you've set out to do this, you probably hit a few bumps along the way and can get frustrated, discouraged. Maybe you're, just mad at yourself for not showing up the way that you want to or not honoring the commitments that you set. But listen, it's still January. And even if you're listening to this later, it's just never too late to get back up, to rise and start again. Make some adjustments. But listen, I want to encourage you to come from a place of love. Come from a place of love when you are dealing with yourself and a place of compassion. Now, I'm not talking about just giving in to all your excuses and every time that you want to go celebrate with a bowl of ice cream or feel bad and throw a pity party with 4 cheeseburgers, go do it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not saying give yourself grace to stay in the pit, but I'm talking about if you come from a place where you truly love yourself, it is so much easier to keep pursuing growth. When we're hard on ourselves, when we're trying to be perfect, it's not going to happen. And so whoever needs to hear that today, just hear that loud and clear because you are worth it. Your future self is worth it. And all of those that are going to be loved better when you are that version of you, trust me, keep going. If you have fallen down, if a curveball has been thrown that you didn't see coming, that knocked you down, just remember, it knocked you down, but it didn't knock you out. Something I often say is quick down, quick up. When I fall down, it's not about what happened and how I fell down. It's about what I do next. Okay? Successful people, it's not that they don't go through hard times or face difficult things or get disappointed in life or themselves. It's just that they refuse to let it keep them down. Okay? So if you need to hear this today, get back up, start again, make some adjustments, but we're in it for the long game. Okay? It's not about this short sprint and did I do it well and run hard and fast? Nope. It's about what habits I can slowly begin to implement. And this is something I have to remind myself because I'm hard on myself, right? But here's what I say. I say, if it took you a long time to create these habits, you've been believing these limiting beliefs for years. You've been operating from an operating system for a long time that really needs an upgrade. It needs an update. Okay. But in order to do that, it's going to take a little bit of time, right? If you want to become the 2.0 version of you, it doesn't happen overnight. So be committed to the process. Fall in love with the journey. If you are trying to reach a quick destination, it's not realistic that change is actually taking place in your life, because change takes place one day and one decision at a time. And that's how you create new neural pathways in your brain. That's how you rewire some of those places in your brain and in your life that they don't serve you anymore. Maybe you were raised a certain way, but I'm telling you, most successful people, it's not that they have the ability to learn a whole bunch of new amazing things. Oftentimes, it's their commitment to unlearn the things that no longer serve them, to question, wait, why do I believe that? Why do I do that? And then committing to the process of leaning in and changing that. Okay. Here's another piece of advice that I have to continually remind myself. All right. Change your relationship with failure. Why are we so scared to fail? What is the worst thing that can happen? I've been talking about that with one of my daughters who battles anxiety, and we play out the worst case scenario. Okay. And what if that happens? Okay. Then what would you do? Okay. And you would be all right. And you'd probably gain some skills along the way. If we can change our relationship with failure and see it as necessary, in fact, if you aren't failing, I'm going to challenge you and say you probably aren't trying hard enough at something, because growth causes us to be stretched and to be uncomfortable, and we are bound to fail because we're trying something new, something different. We're trying to show up as a different version of us. That goal requires something different from us. And so we're bound to fail along the way. Failure is necessary. Failure is necessary. Come on, I'm giving you a lot of good lines today. And the reason I give you those lines, they naturally flow out of me because they're little mantras that I say to myself before I, get uncomfortable and I'm nervous or I'm fearful and you know what? Failure is necessary. Failure is a part of life. Failure is it is a necessary stepping stone on my way to my goal, on my way to what success looks like for me. So let's change our relationship with failure and just embrace it and fail forward. Wow, okay, tried that, didn't work. What can I learn about me? What can I learn about life? How can I begin to implement that right now? Here's the deal. If you feel like you don't have what it takes, the skill sets, the mindsets, the habits, I'm telling you right now, that you might not. Is that a scary thing to say? Is that a scary thing to hear or accept? You're like, that is not encouraging me today. Okay, but here's the encouraging part. Here is the encouraging part, all right, is that you may not have the mindsets and the skill sets that are going to get you to your goals right now, but you do have access to everything that you need to acquire them. It's just going to take some pursuit. It's going to take a little bit of work and decision-making, action, and belief on your part. What I love is that Psalm 23 tells me that I lack nothing. I lack nothing. Okay, it's in there somewhere. 2 Peter 1:3 says we have access to everything that we need to live a godly life. I have access to the one who created me. I have access to the one who has placed a calling on my life. I have access to his word, which is the book of wisdom. If you feel like you don't have what it takes, why don't you start reading Proverbs? Read one proverb a day and begin to study it, begin to memorize it, begin to see what comes out of there. I'm going to do a whole different episode just on wisdom because my gosh, don't we need it? And the book of wisdom is available to you. You have access to open that baby every single day. You have access to books and podcasts and education. You have access to mentorship. And you're like, wait, who is going to mentor me? Do you know Christine Kane is one of my greatest mentors? Yeah, I finally got to meet her a couple years ago, but she mentored me for lots of years before she ever knew who I was. We find mentorship through these podcasts and these books and masterminds and putting yourself in a room full of live events. If you seek wisdom, you will find it. And it is necessary if you want to become that next version of you. I want you to think about this. So one of the exercises that I do at the beginning of the year is I begin to reflect after being super grateful for the year that I had. I begin to say, God, what do you want to do in this next year? Like in 2025, God, what do you want to do in me and through me and around me? And I say, what do you want me to start, to stop, and to continue? I would take some time, if you haven't yet, to begin to answer those questions. What do you want me to start, stop, and continue? I feel a little emotional, if you can hear the pause. Just because I want to remind you that we need to live with urgency. Tomorrow is not promised. We have such bad habits so often of procrastinating and saying, well, one day I'm going to be ready. Someday I'm going to do it. Tomorrow I'll start. Once I have the support that I need from the people that I love, once I know that the next 10 steps in the plan and have all the details, once I feel qualified, as soon as I look in the mirror and really believe in that person, that's when I'm going to do it. But tomorrow is not promised. And I have a friend right now that I adore who is fighting for her life, literally, in the ICU. If you hear this, say a prayer for Nicole, because she's a mom with kids that are in middle school, high school, that need her. And I am just reminded, you do not know what life will throw at you. You can be totally fine one day and then the next day be fighting for your life in the ICU. So I want to encourage you today. Today, live your life to its very fullest. Make the most of every opportunity. Stop doubting yourself. Stop overthinking. Stop wasting your time, your talent, your testimony. Stop it. I'm saying that's to me. Stop it. If God has given you an idea, if he's given you a desire, if he's placed a calling on your life, be obedient to that today. Take the risk today. Take the leap of faith today. Step out and tell your story today. Even right now, I'm asking God as I'm talking to you, so I might as well just do it out loud. God, bring to people's minds right now as they're listening to this an idea, a desire, a specific calling. Let it come to their thoughts and the forefront of their mind right now. Right now as we're sitting here. Because I know we listen to these podcasts and then we hop off and we get back to crazy life. So right now, here in this moment, I'm asking God to bring back into your remembrance something that is from him that you haven't acted upon yet. Or maybe it's stepping into a new level of commitment, a new level of obedience, a new level of confidence, boldness, consistency, whatever that is. And would you just say yes today? And yeah, you're going to have to wake up and decide if you're going to say yes tomorrow. But there is a album that I listen to that is like motivational speeches, and I often start my day with it. And the motivational speaker, he says, today is your day. Rise. If you have breath in your lungs, then there is purpose in your heart. Rise. What will you do with today? You woke up with breath in your lungs, but someone else did not. Don't waste today. So I want to encourage you. Don't waste today degrading yourself, being hard on yourself. Don't waste today worrying about failure or being scared of success or trying to figure out all the details. Obey that voice inside your heart, that spirit that is leading you to step out and step up. Tomorrow is not promised. And I've been reminding myself lately that this is a temporary home. We're in a temporary home. Our days are numbered. And, honestly, my husband and I have been really reflecting, and it's been so good and healthy. And I love it because it's been such a wild ride and an adventure over the last decade. Dreams coming true, battles that we've fought, things that we've overcome or are still overcoming. And we've been talking about our values and what we want these next few years to look like. And some of that is really realizing what's most important. And we've talked about downsizing our home and just creating closer connection with our family and just focusing on what really, really matters. And so in that process, before I would have thought, I look around my house and it needs a little bit of that, or I should do that, or maybe if I buy that. And now I'm like, this is a temporary home. I'm probably not going to invest more money, time, and energy into it because maybe I'll live here in a year and maybe I won't. And how much that relates to what I'm feeling about my days here on this earth. And when I keep eternity in my heart and eternity in my mind, and I realize so much of this is temporary, will what that person thinks of me matter to me 6 months down the road? Does it really matter? No. Why would I let my fear of those people's opinions hold me back from being who God has created me to be? Why am I wasting my time worried about that or spending money on that when it will not matter? But when I keep eternity in my mind, it creates urgency in my heart to make the most of today, that one day I will stand and have a conversation with my maker and he will say, what did you do with what I gave you? Those relationships, those talents, those dreams, that testimony and story that you have, what did you do with what I gave you? God, I want to be found faithful. I want to be found faithful. And guess what? God says, if you are faithful with the little, he will give you the much. You will be entrusted with more. So instead of just pursuing the more, if we were faithful right here, right now with what he's given us and faithful to step out and be obedient when he calls, everything will fall into place. So today, I hope that this encouraged you. I hope that you were able to find comfort and a little bit of challenge. I know I always happen to bring that. But God loves you. He sees you. Let's love ourselves. Let's come from a place of love in our pursuit of health, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially. So I hope that this has encouraged you today and brought you some comfort and most likely some challenge. I tend to always bring a little bit of that, but that's because I'm being challenged. And as I look at this new year, no matter what this first month has been like or how up and down it has felt, we still have lots of months left to become that version of us or get a little bit closer, right? So come from a place of love. Keep embracing failure, quick down, quick up. Focus on what really matters. And I'm going to tell you, don't give up on you becoming that best version of you. Because when you are a better you and more whole and healthier, then you love your people better. You focus on the things that matter. You can be fully present with them, not insecure about you, and you have energy and confidence to step into your specific and divine purpose for this season. So I hope that you're doing that. If this encouraged you, please share it with someone, post it and tag me. Let me know what stood out to you. Message me. I would love to hear from you. I am beyond grateful that we get to build our brave together. All right, let's go. Love you.